Sunday. Ready for Sunday? What? Sunday. Because
Sunday, I think me and Miriam were just going to go Goodwill hunting and stuff, but if you need help, I'm pretty sure we'd love to.
That's aggregate demand. That's the demand side of the economy. Now let's talk about the supply side of the economy.
because the whole bridge thing and everything.
Now our supplier.
That I want to do on Saturday.
You're the
But
supplier now.
I want you to help us out, like, to go back to
We
that
have
tree, the tree
different
section with the stone benches,
supply curves.
and that's what I'm doing
Two
Sunday.
different curves. The first one is called classical aggregate supply curve. It's classical because it represents the philosophy of the classical economists who believe in full employment. Remember, laissez-faire, leave it alone, it'll fix itself, and we need to try to achieve full employment as much as possible. That is true in the long run, okay? That's true in the long run. Classical aggregate supply curve means long run aggregate supply curve. Same, okay? It's labeled long run aggregate supply because classical and long run are synonymous, all right? Now, the curve itself is vertical. The curve is vertical. It's vertical because in the long run, output is determined by the factors of production, not price level. Anytime you see a vertical curve like that, that means it is not affected by price. It's only affected by output. And output is determined by the number of workers. The number of workers in your economy. Okay? If everyone is working that wants to work, this is what we call full employment. If we're operating at full employment, this point down here represents potential output. Potentially, we should be producing at that level of output if everybody who wants to work is working. Right now, we have unemployment of 9.6%. Yes, it did. It went up 1/10 of a point. 9.6%. We are somewhere over here. We're to the left of that curve. That curve has actually shifted to the left because we got a lot of people unemployed. A lot of people unemployed. All right. Factors that will shift the long run supply curve is the size of the labor force. Obviously, if you increase the size of the labor force, then that's going to cause that curve to shift to the right. It may not be by very much, but it will shift to the right. The long run aggregate supply curve, or classical. Whenever you increase the size of the workforce. The size of the workforce is that curve. If you increase the workforce, that curve's going to shift to the right. And every June and January, it shifts just a little bit to the right. How come? No. How about graduations? You know, in June you have college students and high school students graduating, and they're joining the workforce. You know, and hopefully they're going to get jobs. That's going to increase the workforce. It happens also in January. Yeah, not only for high school students, but college. It's more common in college.
So, in comparison to the aggregate demand curve, like in all those, and the supply curve,
yeah.
it's like the prices and the quantity sort of dictate one another. With the classical, the not, right. The prices don't fluctuate as a variable of the
That's right.
quantity.
That's right. Yes, because it's a vertical. Price level has no impact. It's the relationship between price level and output. Okay. Now, that's one of the factors. Another factor that will cause that curve to shift is technology. An increase in technology makes your workers more efficient. If we discover something new, that's going to make us more efficient. That's going to shift that curve to the right. All right? It's going to be a rightward shift, a good thing. Resource base is another one. That's the third one, resource base. In other words, you discover new resources. Well, you know, we haven't done that lately. Yeah, 1972, I think.
Does that mean the shift to the right?
Yeah, the discovery of new resources will shift to the right, but we haven't done that. We have not discovered anything new lately. New resources. All right. Then we have stock of capital and population. Stock of capital, population. These are all factors of production. These are all factors of production. Okay. Any questions now about the long run supply curve or classical? All right, let's talk about the short run. The short run supply curve or Keynesian aggregate supply curve. We call it Keynesian because he's the one that came up with this concept. It was his idea. Keynesian, it's supply in the short run. All right, in the short run. Definition. Drum roll, please. Short. Thank you. The short run aggregate supply curve shifts in the long run, restoring the economy at full employment. Doesn't make sense, huh? Doesn't make sense to me either. I read the wrong sentence. Okay, in the short run, prices are sticky, and output is determined by aggregate demand. In the short run, prices are sticky, and output is determined by aggregate demand. So if we can shift the aggregate demand curve to the right, that's also going to cause the short run aggregate supply curve to rise, or shift to the right. Doesn't rise, it shifts to the right. If aggregate demand increases, that will cause the short run aggregate supply curve, or Keynesian aggregate supply curve, to also shift. They go together. They go together. Yes, you're right. All right. Factors. The factors that affect the Keynesian or short run aggregate supply curve. There's 4 of them. The first one is wage rates. Wage rates. By that I mean labor costs. Your cost of labor. If wages go up, then your labor costs go up. If that happens, that causes that short run curve to shift to the left. It shifts to the left. What happened a year ago, July, regarding wages? Yeah, minimum wage went up, which did not affect too many states because they were already operating above, but Texas got hit right between the eyes. Texas was operating at $5.15 an hour, and now, how much is it? $7.25, yeah. Nice fat little raise.